At his December 9th news conference, Mayor Daley proposed eliminating the city's head tax on new employees hired by businesses for 2 years as a way to encourage job creation. He also outlined ideas the city is reviewing to keep Chicago competitive in the convention industry. Here are highlights from that news conference.
And more than ever, Chicago's working middle class families, not only here but throughout the country, are very, very concerned about the economy on a daily basis and on a personal basis. And so that's why getting ideas how you speed up the economy, how you grow the economy, or the real end line is how we get people back to work, and that will be the issue. Our recently approved city budget protects them in several ways. We must make sure we're helping our businesses, small and large, create new jobs even today. It's important to remember that during these very difficult economic times, government should not substantially be increasing its workforce because people just cannot pay more fees and taxes. I mean, that's the issue. New jobs must be created in the private sector, and how do you grow your way out of recession? And that's what we asked. What would be the best way for them to grow jobs in the private sector? Over the last several months, we have taken many steps to help turn around our city economy and get people back to work. This includes new steps taken to support small businesses, which we announced yesterday. The most recently unemployment figures released by the state underscore the difficult challenge we are facing. Moving forward, we need to focus on the ways that government can help create new jobs in the private sector, new opportunities in new businesses so we can help people get back to work. By acting now, we can build a stronger and better future. This morning, I again met with a group of business leaders. Wonderful listening to their comments and their ideas and suggestions and their willingness to volunteer. I said yesterday, and I repeat this, we are fortunate in this city to have great business leaders, and also in the country. The business community gives more time and effort in regards to many issues, and also charity-wise. I mean, they support so many charities. The rest of the world is not like that. Business leaders do not give back into the community. It's amazing what American business leaders, and we have to reaffirm that. Doesn't mean we're going to have difference of opinion on issues or a certain industry, but we should not say they do not participate. We are really fortunate in America, especially in Chicago, to have them with us. I met with them, a group in February. They represent major sections of economy, large, small businesses, community groups, as well as economists. Their suggestions are very, very helpful to me as mayor. We all agree that job creation will be one of the key factors that helps lead us out of the recession. And how do you do it? That is the most interesting issue. We also agreed that we must do a better job being competitive both in our convention marketplace, our tourism, and the competitiveness of the city in general as compared to other cities in the United States. An example, the travel and tourism industry supports about 132,000 jobs in the Chicago area. And that goes from O'Hare Field, Midway, that goes from the trains, the buses, the cabs, the limousines, that goes into retailing, that goes into all the, from McCormick Place, it goes into the hotels. The whole aspect of this is enormous. So like anything else, without these jobs generated by domestic and international traveler spending, Chicago's 2008 unemployment rate of 7% would have been more than double 16.9%. In other words, especially in that industry. And what we're trying to do is make Chicago a much more global city, and all the things that we have done. Even with 2016, we got more international publicity with that effort than we could ever do in our lifetime. And that was enormous impact to really sell Chicago. In the last few weeks, I met with leaders from McCormick Place. And so I want to talk to you now, even with that, is that it's not just McCormick Place adding on the cost. In other words, if you hire somebody at $70, it went up to $125. Then we found out that the show contractors, would put another 10 or 15% on that. So in other words, they were all making money off the one employee. And so I'm not talking about work rules or anything else. I'm just talking about the cost. And we have to realign our costs because we're in competition directly with Atlanta as well as Vegas in Orlando. In the plastic convention, they're bringing about 200 workers from Chicago, union workers down there to work. So that's what we have to understand that, and so we think this can be workable. We can work through this problem that we have at McCormick Place. It's vital to all the jobs, directly and indirectly. Some of the key ideas we're now talking about. We're looking at McCormick Places. When you say offering subsidies support conventions, as other cities do, they have enormous impact, but also just getting the costs down, restructuring the debt of McCormick Place, that's fine. Top review of all fees and costs they're handling, giving to the conventions. Making management improvements at McCormick Place and comprehensive marketing strategy for convention and tourism industry. At our meeting this morning, we discussed how government can be more supportive of businesses across the city. We discussed a positive role that the financial incentives can play in supporting new job creation in the private sector, which would really be important, especially medium-sized and startup companies, things like that. Today, I'm announcing that the December 16th meeting, next week, the City Council will introduce an ordinance that would temporarily eliminate the employer's expense tax, commonly known as a head tax, on any new employee that a business hires in 2010 and 2011. The city's head tax applies to about 3,100 businesses with 50 or more full-time employees. Those employers pay $4 per employee per month. The business community, led by the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce, has consistently expressed the feeling that this tax is a barrier to start up new businesses, that it diverts funds that businesses could otherwise use to pay wages or make other investments. In the current economy, we want to remove this perceived barrier to job creation. Under the proposed ordinance, a business would not pay the head tax on any employee hired in 2010 or 2011 until 2012. We realize that in this challenging economy, temporarily eliminating local tax may not by itself provide enough incentive for business to hire a new employee, but a combination of local, state, and federal incentives could enable business to achieve substantial savings by investing in job creation, which it has to be all both local, state, even the county, local, and then the state and the federal government. So by asking the state and the federal governments to quickly put similar temporary job creation tax incentives in place, and we can maybe do 2 years or 3 years, whatever they see fit. At the state level, we'll be asking Governor Quinn and General Assembly to explore opportunities for creating a new temporary corporate tax credit for each job that a business creates in 2010 or 2011. At the federal level, various options for job creation tax incentives are already being explored. We're looking at President Obama's meeting. We're looking at some of the suggestions they have made, and we'll comment on that. At the urging of Congress, Obama administration to act swiftly to put a temporary job creation incentive in place as quickly as possible, and just as the federal government did in the recession that occurred in the 1970s. Specifically, we have asking the federal government to waive all federal taxes on any new employee hired in 2010 or 2011 for as long as that person is employed. And that money cannot be used for bonuses, cannot be used for salaries of other people. It cannot be, those new employees cannot replace someone who presently is employed. And the money cannot be used for your profit and loss statement. Any money left over would be going to research in technology for that company, which is really good for that company to expand. A tax incentive to create jobs on a combination of local, state, and federal level would really would help us tremendously to fix the economy. I really believe this. I think that's what the private sector has to be reassured that they would not go back and look at more rules and regulations and more tax on them if they hire new people. We want an employee to be truly an asset to all of us in our society. It needs to be combined with other measures such as federal investment in public work projects, whether it's a private investment or public investment. We should really maybe go to the private sector and ask them what they think. Is there private funding out there? Is tax incentives for them to reinvest as quickly as possible, cut back to red tape and everything else in these federal projects that we want to do with infrastructure? And we stimulate the consumer and business demand for private sector goods and services to create more private jobs. And this is very, very important. We have people in Washington already talking about airports, how airports are essential, the modernization of airports, up-to-date technology, whether you're on a plane or at the airport itself, is greatly needed as quickly as possible. Even experts who otherwise wouldn't support a job creation tax incentive believe it's now warranted given the high unemployment. The high unemployment and those that have maybe are not looking for jobs anymore. They just, I think there is a real desperation. Governments at all levels needs to work together to help protect our economy and our workers. An incentive such as this one we are proposing today, when combined with other initiatives, can lessen the impact of the recession on our city residents and also on the employer. The President made a good start in the direction yesterday when he outlined a number of job creation ideas, which everybody's looking at. We intend to share today's ideas with the White House to build upon their proposal as well. When not everyone at the table today agrees on the best way to create jobs, we will continue to meet with everyone on all levels, small, medium-sized businesses, to provide an environment for the city of Chicago to put people back to work. Thank you.